The 2026 Fantasia International Film Festival, the best genre film festival in the world, is back again in 2026, playing from July 16 to the August the 2nd in person in Montreal, Canada. And in this video, I'm going to highlight 20 films that you can see at the festival. I'm going to highlight 10 films that have already been played at other festivals or they've been released in their original home countries already. And I'm also going to highlight 10 films that are having their world premiere at the 2026 Fantasia International Film Festival. So let's jump right in with some films that we already know about. First off is Black Zombie, which originally debuted at the 2026 South by Southwest Film Festival, and it's a very interesting documentary. You can check out my review on my channel. I'll put a link to the review in my description, along with other reviews of films I've already seen. Black Zombie, it's a very interesting documentary. It's a history of the zombie and the history of Haiti, where the zombie first started in literature, and just the history of the zombie throughout American horror history and how it's been misused. So this is a very interesting documentary. I highly recommend checking out Black Zombie at the festival. There is Blaise from France, animated film from France, which debuted at the 2026 Cannes Film Festival. Blaise is a very cringe comedy. It's about this family who get into strange scenarios, and they have to try and talk themselves out of it. If the best way to describe it is probably a French version of like Seinfeld. Like, it's just these characters get themselves in, just because they're so afraid to offend the other people in their lives, or at the work or at school or wherever they are, that they get themselves in such funny, cringe-inducing situations. So I highly recommend checking out this film from France, Blaise. I think it's based on a TV series or YouTube series originally. So yeah, if you're after a very unique, funny animated film, I definitely recommend checking out Blaise. Next up is Buddy. Buddy debuted at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival, and I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing this film at Fantasia, and it's one of the highlights of Sundance, one of the midnight horrors, and it has a strange plot, a very interesting plot, and it's set inside a children's television show gone horribly wrong, and has like a strange cast like Christian Milotti, Topher Grace, Michael Shannon, Patton Oswalt, and it has an interesting cast, a very interesting premise. I haven't really seen any trailer or any footage from this film, but it definitely seems to be like a very, very unique, strange film. So I'll definitely, hopefully, I'll get a chance to see this film at Fantasia, and I definitely want to watch it, I think. Next up is Colony, the Korean kind of like zombie film from director Yeon Sang-ho. And this film is not as good as his Train to Busan, but it's pretty close. It's the first half of the film. I really like the first half of this film. It's action-packed, non-stop, through ride. It starts to go off the rails a little bit in the second half of the film, but I still recommend checking out this film. It has a lot of, it's set inside like a shopping mall, and the director has a lot of inventive ways to stage all of these action set pieces. So I definitely recommend checking out Colony, even though it is a little bit disappointing at times, but I still recommend checking out Colony. I think you'll be fulfilled. Then there's Drag, which debuted at the 2026 South by Southwest Film Festival. I haven't seen this film as well, but it looks a very interesting film. It's one of the highly rated genre films from that festival, and it stars Lizzie Kaplan, John Stamos, and the daughter of Danny DeVito, who also produced this film, Lucy DeVito. It's about sisterly love when little sister agrees to play lookout for big sister while she breaks into some douchebag's remote house in the woods and steals something for revenge over a major offense. She does so very reluctantly. So this sounds like a very off-kilter type horror comedy thriller. So this is definitely one of the films I hope to catch at the festival. Next up is a very off-kilter dark comedy from Australia called The Fox, and this film debuted at the 2026 South by Southwest Film Festival, and I haven't seen it yet. I've had a few chances to catch this film at festivals, but it's always clashed with other films, so hopefully I get a chance to see this film at the Fantasia Film Festival. It's set in a parallel reality where animals talk, hustle, swear, and scheme. The Fox opens with a Nick played by Jay Courtney, discovering that his fiancée, Corey, played by Emily Browning, is cheating on him. Forced to come to terms with the fact that the relationship has simmered, he's devastated, but all seems hopeless until Nick captures a fox who offers unconventional marital advice in exchange for being let free. So I guess it's a kind of like talking animal, dark comedy that has that kind of like Australian dark humor in it. So this sounds like one of the films you need to catch at Fantasia Film Festival. Next up is an animated film called Jim Queen, which is it's a queer animated film. I think it's from France, and it debuted at the 2026 Cannes Film Festival. It features a character called Jim Parfit, who is the center of the gay universe in Paris, with adoring fans, lovers, and rivals looking up to him to set trends and establish the ideal male physique. So this is one of the not only one of the highest rated animated films of 2026, but it's one of the most highly rated films of the year on Letterboxd. So Jim Queen is definitely one of the films I hope to catch at Fantasia Film Festival. It sounds like a very interesting off-cult animated film from France. Next is Never After Dark, which debuted at the 2026 Tribeca Film Festival, and this is one of my favorite films of the year. Just a few days ago, I was. And next up is Never After Dark, which debuted at the 2026 South by Southwest Film Festival back in March. And Never After Dark, you can check out my review on my channel. It's one of the best films I've seen this year, probably the top horror movie I've seen this year. And it's a haunted house horror film, but the director, Dave Boyle, he just makes it fresh, and then just comes up with different ways. And this the lead character in this film is like a clairvoyant. She can jump between different worlds, and she uses this like spinning wheel to jump between. It's just so many fresh ideas in this film, and it's extremely well made. So I highly recommend checking out Never After Dark at the festival. You definitely won't be disappointed. Next up is another film from Japan. It's The Samurai and the Prisoner, directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, the horror master. This is his first samurai film, and this film, it's quite long. It's almost 3 hours long. It's quite wordy and dialogue heavy. But if you just jump into this film, the film has like 4 separate mysteries, and the lead character in this film has to solve these mysteries with the help of a prisoner that he has in his basement of his castle. And the film like throws at you like a whole bunch of names and clans and stuff, and you don't be overwhelmed by all of the dialogue and the names in this film. Just kind of like go with the flow, just follow the main character in this film, and I think you have a lot of fun with this film. The film doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think it is quite approachable. It's not as complicated as it sounds. So I definitely recommend checking out The Samurai and the Prisoner if you're a fan of Japanese samurai films, and also the director Kiyoshi Kurosawa. Next up, another film from Japan. We have You Are the Film, and this debuted at the Brussels International Fantastic Film Festival 2026. And this is the directorial debut of Makoto Ueda, and he's the screenwriter of a few other sci-fi films from Japan, such as River and Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes. And he just writes these very strange time travel, very unique type drama, comedy, thrillers that you just kind of have to like focus on, and then you like it just plays with your brain and plays with the film and the aspect of time and everything in film. So, and this is been very highly regarded from festivals that it's played at so far. So this is definitely one of the films I hope to catch at Fantasia. Okay, now I'm going to highlight 10 films that are having their world premiere at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival, and let's jump in with debut director Tim Rydell with Ancestral Beasts. This is from Canada, I think, and it's about 4 years after the loss of her mother. Elise can't get her head right. She's messing up at work, needs stress leave, and her sister Nikki is on her case about everything. Feeling like she can't win, Elise takes off to her auntie's house outside the city to regroup, but when she arrives at the small isolated cabin, she encounters noisy neighbor Max, who she thinks broke in, and soon she realizes that it's not Max, and there might be raccoons living under the house, as confirmed by a gaping hole in her bedroom floor. So it sounds like a very interesting isolated cabin haunted house film. And I think this is a indigenous film from Canada, so this definitely sounds like one of the highlights to see at Fantasia 2026. Next up is Someone's Daughter, another film from Canada, and this film has a very, very interesting premise. This is on my list already to see at Fantasia, so just check out my review for this film after the premiere. And this is directed by Ripke von Carrisfield, and this is about a lawyer who's in her 50s. She wakes up and she's in a car, and some man has kidnapped her, and he takes her by boat. He drugs her, takes her by boat to this remote island in Canada, and then he takes off and he kills himself, and then she's stuck on this island, and then she goes into the cabin, and she finds that there's this young man drugged on the floor of the cabin, and then this man she defended 15 years ago of rape, and she helped him be free and not convicted of rape. So now I'm not really giving away any spoilers because this all happens in the first 15 minutes of the film. So it has a very, very interesting premise, and it's like a survival drama, and these two people are trying to see what the hell's going on. So yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Someone's Daughter. It has a very interesting premise. Next up is Hotspot, and you can already check out the trailer for this on YouTube. It looks probably one of the highest budget films at Fantasia 2026. I think it's directed by Agnieszka Smokivska. I'm butchering that name anyway. It's about several years from today, set in the future, in a society surveyed and controlled by global sentient AI. A private detective, Johnny, investigates a grisly murder in a refugee camp, and there he meets Rana, played by Naomi Rapace, and a feared member of a religious sect said by many to be a witch of sorts, a cyber witch. So this is set in the future. If you watch the trailer, it has a very distinct look. So this is definitely one of the films I hope to check out at Fantasia, where it debuts on the 24th of July. Next up is Corpus, an indie horror film from America directed by Corin Evans. And this film is about a drug dealer, Sayo, whose life is upended after he's invited to a party upstate by his long-time crush and movie star on the rise, Vince. When he arrives, the party isn't exactly bumping, and he's faced with three mysterious women. And these three women draw the boys into a dark web of seduction and terror. So this, I just like the look of this film. Sounds interesting. So I definitely think Corpse will be one of the under the radar films to check out at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival. Next up is The Glorious Dead from Toby Pizer and John Adamson. These filmmakers are very familiar with the Fantasia Film Festival. They've played other films such as Deeper You Dig, Hellbender, Where the Devil Roams, Hellhole, and Mother of Flies. And Glorious Dead will definitely be another film as strong as those films. The Glorious Dead is about over the course of a single hellish winter day, a rural US town finds itself in a irrationally changed state. Neighbors and loved ones are disappearing without a trace. Pets as well. Blood oozes from water traps. Creatures unlike anything known in nature are seen in the woods. So this film definitely feels like an isolated town, a lot of creepy stuff happening, and definitely from filmmakers that are very assured by now at what they're doing. So this is definitely one of the highlights to check out at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival. Next up is Canadian science fiction horror Homebodies, directed by Casey Walker, who previously directed the film A Little Bit Zombie, and this film has a very strange, interesting premise. Red and Blue live a waiting god existence within the confines of a retro automated dwelling, and food is always available. They're entertained by VHS tapes of a show called Barn, starring a cow, pig, and chicken, and served by each other's company. And they report to Papa, a disembodied voice, through a locked door that enforces the rules that they live by. So this is a very kooky premise, and I think that this is definitely one of the more interesting films to check out at Fantasia this year. Next up is Sour Minnow, directed by Harrison Atkins, and this film is about after unknowingly peeking through the veil, Ricky and his roommate Teppa witness 6 men sensually licking the pavement on an empty LA street, and as time stretches and bends in the aftermath of this encounter, Ricky's relations, including his situationship with his fellow cinephile Aura, begin to take on surprising new dimensions. So this sounds like a very sensual, strange film. So I definitely will hopefully check out this film at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival. Next up is I Love Paris, which is a Australian-French co-production directed by Nikki Murphy, and this has a very interesting style. I've already watched the trailer for this film and it sounds very interesting. I Love Paris opens with an impromptu MTV Crib-style apartment tour, and this explains Paris holding up a plastic horse is Rodrigo. Moments later, she shows the viewer a clay statue in her maximist apartment. So it sounds like a very dry vampire, like black and white type of comedy vampire film. So this is definitely one of the films I hope to check out at 2026 Fantasia. Next up is Attack on Paradise from director Bob Colliers, and this is about Suleiman, who is new released after 7 years in prison, only wishes to return to his apartment complex and spend time with his ailing mother. But Paradise no longer lives up to his name, and drug-lord Prince has taken over, placed himself at the top floor and made Paradise his personal fortress. And cinema returns, a place raid of Paradise begins, one that pits the outmatched and outgunned police against the Prince's private army. So this film's like a very action-packed, thrilling ride, Attack on Paradise from Belgium. So I hope to check out this film at the 26th Fantasia Film Festival. And finally, we have No Rest for the Wicked, which is a period piece from Denmark, and it's about set against the harsh, unforgiving landscape of the 19th century for our islands. No Rest for the Wicked, directed by Casper Kale, plays out like a breathtaking portrait of a lady on fire, only if it were a queer Danish vampire film with folk horror flavours and a definite gothic undertone. This film, it sounds very, very interesting, looks great, and it sounds like a very off-kilter film from Denmark. So hopefully check out this film at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival. And that wraps up my coverage of the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival. So please check out my reviews during the festival, and please comment below in this video which films you're most excited to see at the 2026 Fantasia Film Festival, and I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.